What is up, 7th grade? This is lesson 26. Our objective is how do you find the least common multiple, and also how do you evaluate division problems. So first of all, let's talk about least common multiples. Well, the word least just simply means the smallest. Common means that they would both have it or they would all have it. And then that brings us to the word multiple. Multiples, you're used to, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, etc. Or 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, etc. So pretty much what you do is whatever, if you want multiples of 10, then you're going to take 10 and multiply it by 1, 10 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by 3, 2 multiplied by 4, etc. And those are all the multiples. So multiples of 10 would be like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So whenever they ask us to find the least common multiple, they're wanting the smallest of the multiples of the number that are in both of them. So here's example 1. Find the least common multiple of 6 and 8. So let's go and just write out the multiples here of 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Times 3 is 18. Times 4 is 24. Times 5 is 30. Times 6 is 36. And it keeps going from there, but we'll stop with that. For 8, multiples of 8, 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, and I'm going to go and just stop there. I guess the next one would be 32. But I'm noticing here that I have a number in common. Notice none of the numbers before this are in common, so that means this is going to be the smallest one that are both in common. So the LCM of 6 and 8 is 24. Now sometimes they ask us to find the least common multiple of 3 numbers, and you still do the same process. And sometimes you will do this mentally, and sometimes not. So I'm going to go and start with the biggest one here. 6, then 12 times 3 is 18, and 24 goes on from there. Now we can start just kind of checking mentally, is 6 divisible by 3? Well, yes. Is 6 divisible by 4? Then no. Check 12. Is 12 divisible by 4? Yes. Is 12 divisible by 3? Yes. So our least common multiple is going to be 12, and if you kind of check that out here, this would be 4, 8, 12. It's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12. So you notice again, the smallest number that all of them have in common is 12. Now sometimes they start getting big and harder to find the multiples of. And so there is a trick with using prime factorization, which we've already used or already learned how to do. So if you want to find the prime or the LCM of 18 and 24, first find the prime factorization. So 18 is equal to 2 times 3 times 3. 24 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So if I want the LCM, the least common multiple, what I'm going to do is I need all the pieces to make an 18, and I need all of the pieces to make a 24. So let's see here. So my LCM, I need to have a 2 times 3 times 3. I picked a 2 times 3 times 3 because those 3 numbers make the 18. So I know if I multiply anything else times this, then it's going to be a multiple of 18. Like if I multiply it by 1, it'd still be 18. If I multiply it by 2, it'd still be a multiple of 18. Now to make the 24, I need 3 2's and a 3. So let's just, real quick, I'm going to highlight here. These 3 are to get me that 18. Okay. Now, I already have 1, 2, and I already have a 3. So I only need to add in 2 more 2's. Now let me just illustrate that here. I need to have 1, 2, 3 2's and a 3. Here is 1, 2, 3 2's and a 3. So those red highlighted ones will make me that 24. And then since I'm multiplying it by the 3, it's going to be a multiple of 24. So all I need to do now is find out what that number is. 2 times 2 times 2 is going to be 8. 3 times 3 is 9. So 8 times 9 is going to give me 72. All right. Now, sometimes when we're evaluating division problems, it's actually easier to do a different division problem that's equivalent. So it says, instead of dividing 220 by 5, double both numbers and mentally calculate. So what they're saying is, here's 225 divided by 5. I don't know why I said 225, that's 220 divided by 5. So we could calculate that, or what we could do is we could double it, meaning multiply the top by 2, and multiply the bottom by 2. Now, why would I do that? Well, what's 5 times 2? 5 times 2 is just 10, which makes it a whole lot simpler to multiply by. This is going to be 440 divided by 10. Whenever I divide by 10, that comes out to be pretty easy. This is going to come out to be 44. So here's our next one. Instead of dividing 6,000 by 200, so wanting us to do this, this is the problem that I'm given. So divide both of them by 100. So I'm going to divide the top by 100, the bottom by 100. What that does is essentially just reduces out 2 of those zeros. So this gives us 60 divided by 2, which again, fairly simple to do, comes out to be 30. Your homework is on page 191. You do all of the practice set, all of them from lesson 27 and all of them from lesson 26, and then 6 more of your choice.